a special Steam event for multiplayer. Replay or start playing the classic 2D medieval cyberpunk platformer shooter in a special Halloween mode. Why would a medieval cyberpunk game have a Halloween mode? Good question. We got pumpkins, ghosts, masks, tombstones, and more. Pick up the game today on Steam for a special Halloween sale price.
Hello and welcome to the final round of the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter OctoberFAST season presented by RaceFirst. So this series runs fixed setup BMW Z4 GT3s. Z4 competed in such series as the American and European Le Mans Series as well as the United Sports Car Championship before it was replaced by the M6 GTLM. So tonight we're at our final round of this OctoberFAST season at the Nürburgring Grand Prix track, just south, I believe, of the Nordschleife, however many miles that track is. We're not running that one tonight. I know there were some requests out there to run that particular track, but as I said, I think that the admins wanted the race to be longer than maybe 3 or 4 laps that the Nordschleife would have been. So we've been running, this is our 5th race. It's actually 6 races because we ran 1 preseason round just to get everything together, but we did 5 marquee European courses. Our first track was Zandvoort, and then we were on to Barcelona, Brands Hatch, and there was another one in there. Oh, Spa-Francorchamps is where we started the season. And now we're on Nürburgring Grand Prix. For our final round, we have a really tight championship here. Between Peter Lanek is currently our leader. Had a bad last couple of races, really. And Hendrik de Zwart and Dave Fitzgerald, as well as Chris Hill, have all kind of caught up to Peter there. So Peter's at 47, Hendricks 45, Dave's at 43, Chris Hill's at 43. Raphael, who missed a round, is at 38. And actually, I believe that Dave and Chris Hill have also missed rounds. I don't believe that Peter has missed a round. Darren Treacle's back there in 7th. He was really fast last week and the week before. We've got Brian Kennedy there in 6th. Yakov Bielik was out last week. We welcome him back this week at 33 points. In 8th, Colin Kordenek in 9th with 24 points. And Joseph Getrides in 10th with 19 points. So we're heading right into qualifying. A little bit of extra time for qualifying tonight. These drivers had 30 minutes. We're currently, as we pull up everything, we're currently 16 minutes to go. We'll pull up some of our cars here. So provisional pole sitter is Chris Hill, as Darren Treacle in P2 navigates through the chicane there into the final corner of this track. And we'll head on to the, I believe it is the Yokohama S, the first corner of this track. So these guys, as they do almost every week, they run a practice race on Wednesday nights. And I believe that the speeds were about 1:59, but it looks like we're a little bit quicker tonight than we were last night. But we've got kind of our usual suspects up at the top. And I'm going to go on board here with Darren. This is a long lap. It's about 2-minute lap, just short of. And he's going to navigate us through turn, that was turn 10, now through turn 11. Got a car ahead. Actually, I got what I have myself back there because that was turn 7 back here. Now we're through the Schumacher S's. High-speed S's. Then we're going to be coming up to turn 10 and 11. This is 10. Kind of a quick left-hander, followed by a fast right-hander. Just a little bit off the accelerator there. I'm not sure if these cars can take this 12th corner up ahead as a high-speed corner. It sounds like he took it flat out. And he's going to be hard on the brakes at the chicane up here. Really easy to overshoot that chicane. And he'll be through the final corner here. And that is a lap around the Nürburgring there as he heads into the Yokohama curve here, the first corner, or Yokohama S in fact, through the Mercedes Arena section right here. Had a car blink in and out there. Probably catch the driver's attention. So we'll see if Darren's... Let's see, he's about 7/10 off of Chris. We'll see what he can do in the next 13 minutes. And Hendrick's back here in third. As we previously mentioned, Chris Hill, Hendrick, Raphael, Dave Fitzgerald there in 5th, and Peter Lanik in 8th. He's our points leader. Let's go back and see what Peter's doing here in this BMW Performance Z4. Navigating through that chicane we had spotted in the other cars. Let's go. Okay, Peter's gonna duck into the pits, probably for fresh tires. So they're running a fixed setup. That fixed setup is gonna be full of fuel at the start of these sessions. And, you know, they're not gonna want to take any fuel during the session, but they're going to want to take new tires. So Peter's on into the pits. Let's have a look. So Dave Fitzgerald also in the pits. As we have Rafael Torres coming down the main straight. Needs to improve about a second from his current fast lap. Several drivers in this series, BMW Performance Pros or SCCA drivers. I know Chris Hill and Raphael here in that RJT livery there are BMW Performance drivers. Darren Treacle, SCCA driver. Now, this is the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter, but you do not have to be a member of that to be a member here in the iRacing series. As long as you hold a passion for driving the Z4, or they might run the other BMWs like the M4 and the M6, the GTE car. And you know, they run those from time to time. This particular series ran every Thursday. I do know that there's they're going to continue with this at some point in time. I don't know what the exact schedule is. It's going to be some American tracks rather than the European tracks we were just running. So check them out on iRacing. Just check out it's BMW CCA NCC. See, Darren's got a slow car up ahead of him. I think that wasn't Sten, that was Tim Bradford ahead of him. Currently has not set a lap, and he gets out of the way, but at the same time, as he gets out of the way, Darren overshoots that final chicane, as I was mentioning when we were on board with him earlier. Got a couple slow cars. Looks like he's going to duck in the pits. He's trying to find a gap here because we have a gaggle of cars. Not something you want to see during qualifications. As I see Hendrick coming up behind him, kind of give him some warning there as Darren's going to shoot off the final corner. He's got 9.5 minutes left to put in a good lap here. think, did Raphael, or was that Brian Kennedy just put in a pretty fast lap there, but he was actually slowed up by traffic as well, so I suspect he's capable of more from that car in that number 44. Looks like we've got 17 drivers tonight. 15 have put in a lap here. We'll get those extra couple cars in 16th and 17th. They're gonna put in a qualifying run momentarily. And yeah, let me know. I know there was some issues with the audio in the previous week's recording and the broadcast, but let me know. The cars were a little low volume-wise. I've worked on that, made sure to get some tests done. And obviously the audio on the microphone is important as well, so I'm sure you guys can hear me. I can see that. Head up to third place, Hendrik here, Hendrik de Zwart. He's actually just a 10th off of Darren there, so really Hill has set that really fast lap, but that doesn't mean everything because Hendrik navigates around a slow car. That looked like to be Dave Fitzgerald back there trying to get his car back on the track. Dave, our winner from last week. Started 5th, finished 1st, I believe it was. But yeah, just because you grab the pole at this track in this series doesn't mean you're going to run away with it. Because we've had, I don't know if we've actually had a car win from pole yet this season. I was looking at the statistics and I did see that every race has been won by a different driver. But I think we might be seeing a repeat winner here tonight. So if you watch Formula One, the Formula One cars ran this track just, might have been 3 weeks ago now, but could have been a couple weeks ago. It's October, I want to say it was October 11th. So however long ago that was at this point. 2.5 weeks maybe. They ran at this particular circuit. They did not plan to run this circuit because, but because of the pandemic, they ended up getting this track onto the schedule. Obviously, Formula One has driven it in the past, but they were mostly doing Hockenheim this in most recent history. A track that iRacing will be scanning in, or has already scanned in and are working on, should be released next year at some point in time. Get Hockenheim onto the service, that'd be great. We got Peter Lanek here, our points leader, back here in 9th. I'll bring up our points once again just to have a quick look at it. So you can see Peter Lanek, Hendrik, Dave Fitzgerald, Chris Hill. Pretty much anybody back to 8th has the capability of winning this championship still. Some are more mathematically able than others, but I think we've got Hendrik and Fitzgerald and Hill, as well as Raphael, a really good place here, especially with Peter here having some difficulty getting this qualifying lap. This first lap from him, his getaway at the start, is going to be critical for him to capture points. I think he's led this championship since the second race. And we'll give Peter some onboard here. I know he likes that onboard. And that last lap, he moved it up to 7th, so that's what he needs to do. I'll be taking another hot lap here. So he goes wide off the exit of turn 1 into the arena, Mercedes arena section. It's turn 3, or 2, 3, then 4. That was 3, this is 4. And he's gonna fire off. Might have got a 1x there to invalidate the lap. I think I'm seeing a lot of that. laps not counting from the leaderboard. And he's gonna navigate down to turn 7. This hairpin, kind of a downhill, has some banking on the corner, but it's deceiving. It's gonna come out into the Schumacher S's. Just under 4 minutes to go in this practice or qualifying session. So yeah, this is Matt Houston running the broadcast here for Raceverse, representing Raceverse this week. Final broadcast of the season here in the BMW Car Club of America National Capital Chapter OctoberFAST season. They're going to be running races throughout the rest of the year and on to next year. Check them out, iRacing Leagues. If you're looking for a league that runs exclusive BMW kind of content here, this is a good one. As I see Rafael Torres running in 4th, he's ahead of Peter here. A wide angle on these shots, we'll get a little bit tighter in here. I'm not sure if that's going to help or hurt Peter back there. I would imagine it's not going to help with a little bit of turbulent air that'd be coming off of Peter there. Chris Hill just set another fast lap. Hendrick in 2nd just hit another really fast lap here, putting him in 2nd position. 0.6 tenths off of Hill though still, so Hendrick, he had a really exciting start last week to that race. Maybe not what he wanted, but exciting for the viewer. And we got to see him battle back through the group, and he took the lead for a moment before Dave Fitzgerald there retook the lead from him. Good lap by Jakub Bielik here in the crafting for the Cure car. Team Gas Burn. Wasn't here last week, but he's back this week as he locks it up. You don't see the cars locking up the tires too much in this. They do have ABS brakes in these cars. But yeah, crafting for a cure, a great cause. Charity helps children in the hospital. And you can check them out on their Twitter. If you check out my Twitter account, I've retweeted their tweets in the last couple of weeks, and you can check them out. And as I see Yakov there taking a little bit of wide there, yeah, you can check them out on Twitter. Crafting for a Cure. It's a Canadian charity. As time is about to run out here, we will have a couple more minutes after this for anybody that's on a hot lap to complete the lap that they're on. As time expires, we're going to get another 3 minutes until these cars can finish off what they're doing out here. I can see Brian Harris pulled into the pits. Dave Fitzgerald's languishing back in 9th position. He had that off earlier, so not a good run for him either. I know several of these drivers, this was a new track to them, so they were studying, getting some practice out this week. Looks like Dave's going to pull it in. Really good lap here by Trace Hance. I don't recall that he was in the series previously, but if he was, It was only one race. It's a really good lap by him to get him up into 5th here. Looks like Bradford was not able to put down a lap. He's on pit lane, so he will be starting from the back. Chris Hill's doing some start practice there. He had some issues last week with his start, so I think we're done with qualifying here, so let's go through the grid. So starting first will be Christopher Hill with a 1 minute 58.657. Hendrik de Zwart in second, Darren Treacle in third, Rafael Torres in fourth, Trace Hance in fifth, Brian Kennedy in sixth, Peter Lanek in seventh, Yakov Bielik in eighth, Dave Fitzgerald in ninth, Brian Hare in 10th. Rounding out that top 10 there, Colin Kordenek in 11th. That's a little bit further back than he usually is. Scott Kim in 12th. Also a little bit further back than usual. Joseph Getridis, he's our 10th place in points. And Stephen Tenney in 14th. Sten Cellier in 15th. He was a new car last week. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. Robert Benson back in 16th. And our final did not qualify as Tim Bradford, making it in tonight here. So he'll be starting at the back. Got a car out there on track still, but I don't see them improving here from there. So that was our grid as we expire our time in the qualifying session here. We'll be heading to the grid here. Chris Hill will lead us down in the standing start. 30-minute race. I think we're estimating about 15 or 16 laps, about 2 minutes per lap, 30-minute race. Find a good place for our grid here since we're going to get the standing start here. Maybe we'll do it from the rear view. I think we did this earlier in the season. We did one of these from the back. Then we can actually see the lights. See, we're still missing a couple cars there on the grid. I think that Rafael Torres there started from the pits last week. He came in late. I'm still waiting for Darren Treacle on the pit lane here. We've still got a minute before this thing will go off. As Treacle arrives on the grid. We'll see how Hendrik has had really good starts there, and that kind of tie-dye colored car with the pink tires. The right of the screen. He's had really good starts this season. Looks like we're estimating about 20 seconds till those lights start coming on. It sounds like we're ready to go here though. And green flag there. Hendrik gets a really good start, so does Trace Hance. As they barrel down towards the first corner. Chris Hill's going to take the lead through the first corner. Hendrik in second. Trace Hance is going to take over third, but then spins out. Car's trying to avoid. I can see that Brian Kennedy is involved. Yakov Bielik tries to navigate around. Wow. That was not expected. Peter Lanix made it up to fifth, I can see, though. Chris Hill in first. Hendrick in second, maintaining that position. Darren Treacle in third. Trace Hance taking the worst of that. He's back in 17th now. Peter Lanek moving up to 5th. Dave Fitzgerald. So we're going to be keeping an eye on how this points kind of runs. And Chris Hill up in the points. Whoever wins this race is probably going to win the championship here. So Hendrick here, he's looking inside of Chris Hill. A little bit of contact possibly between the two drivers. Hendrick wants to win this championship, I could tell you. And Treacle gets by as well. A little bit slow there for Chris Hill. I don't know what the problem is. And Raphael has to avoid him. I don't know if he might have got a slowdown. An iRacing slowdown, and Raphael gets around him as well. So Hendrick is going to lead our first lap here with Darren Treacle right on his bumper. Our pole sitter dropping back to 4th. He led it through the first half of a lap. I think he had a slowdown is what it would have been. iRacing slowdown. Treacle looks on the outside of Hendrick there. Really good view from Raphael back here in 3rd as well. We'll go on board with Raphael. I can see Kennedy and Trace Hance have both pit. So has Jakov Bielik, unfortunately for him. As Darren looks inside of Hendrick there. Through the Schumacher S's. Really, really close, Darren Treacle is. And Raphael's looking to get into this mix as well. He's got Chris Hill right behind him as well. Just the gaggle of cars from 1st to 4th there. Getting a little bit of dirt kick up there. As they head into the fast turn 10. Treacle takes a little bit hot, and Raphael's going to get around him and take over that second position. He's going to set his sights on Hendrick. Chris Hill got around him as well. So Darren Treacle is going to drop back to 4th. Peter Lanek, our points leader, languishing in 5th, but he's going to look to take advantage. Into the chicane, dives inside. Looks like Treacle's going to give him room. Oh, and a little bit of contact between the two. Dave Fitzgerald back here takes advantage of that and that Gulf livery. Also one of our championship contenders. Oh, we had Hill had another mistake there and was slow once again, and it looks like Fitzgerald's going to get around him. Peter Lanek tries to get him around him as well, as Hendrick kind of has checked out. Hendrick and Raphael have checked out just slightly up at the front. So we go to a chopper view here. A really good battle. So Chris Hill getting around once again around Fitzgerald. Fitzgerald dropping back in a battle with Lanek. Checking out the rest of the field, we have Colin Kordenek back here in 7th. Joseph Getrides in 8th. Scott Kim battling here with Brian Hare. That was 9th and 10th. Tim Bradford back as he kind of does a drift through that, I believe that was the hairpin corner back there. Stephen Tenney in 12th. Sten Cellier in 13th. Robert Benson in 14th. Yakov Bielek's back on the track in 15th. Brian Kennedy also had that damage on that first lap. Trace Hance, it looks to me like he has dropped out of the race as Hendrick leads up at the front. But Hendrick leading, he's got Raphael right behind him, just a second back as they're going to complete another lap heading into turn 1, Yokohama S's. Treacle's going to be coming under pressure from Hill in 4th. Treacle takes that corner particularly wide there. And I can see Fitzgerald is dropping back from Hill just slightly, and Lanik as well. So, but still, between 1st to 6th, we've got only about an 8-second gap between all of those cars. That gap between Treacle and Hill only about half a second. So just one of these drivers, as we saw, Hill made a couple mistakes, dropped back, but any driver can make a mistake at any point here. They just need to get a little bit of pressure, and they're gonna come under, force a mistake as Hill looks inside through the hairpin. Now they navigate through the Schumacher S's. Treacle maintains the lead, but looked like he struggled getting through that flat, and Hill's going to look on the outside into turn 10 and take over that 3rd position from Treacle. You can see top of the screen just a sliver of those cars in 1st and 2nd. They're kind of getting away a little bit, but from that qualifying speed that we saw from Hill, we know he can catch him. Looking through the field, so Joseph Gatrides is catching Colin Kordenek here. Then there's a gap back to Scott Kim, is about 5 seconds back here. He's gapped from Brian Hare, 3 seconds from Hare. Stenselier is catching up to Tim Bradford here. He's going to look inside into the final corner. We'll see if this works. He thinks better of it, it looks like. That's Stephen Tenney at the top of the screen running an 11th. Started 14th. Looking through the field here, so we also have that Joseph Katrides battle. Colin Kordenek. And Darren Treacle has dropped back about a second from Hill, although he just made it up at about 3/10 there between the time that I noticed that and the time that I switched over to the camera there. So they head through the Schumacher S's. That's Hill ahead of him, so that's he's going to have trouble sticking with him. Hill's got some work to do, though. If we go on board with him, you can see those cars up ahead heading through that fast right-hander, about 5 seconds ahead. With Raphael catching Hendrick here. So a quick look at fastest laps of the race so far. Hendrick is at the fastest, but Raphael, Chris Hill, Darren Treacle are all very close with their fastest laps. Yeah, it looks like we've got a good crowd out there watching tonight. Thanks, guys, for watching. Hendrick guards that first position as Raphael's right on his bumper at this point. He wants that lead. He knows that Chris Hill is coming. I thought Raphael was about to put some bumper into him there. Not really on purpose, though. as he looks outside. Really tight battle, door-to-door battle here. He's going to think better of it, and he's going to stick right on the bumper of Hendrik there. He's getting, Raphael here is getting really good exits out of these corners here. He's going to go inside, but he's, outside. Not the ideal place to make a pass, though. You can see in the background, while these two are battling, Chris Hill has gained a 1.5 seconds on them. And that gap has come down. It was 5 seconds. It's now 3.5 seconds. There is lap traffic up there already. That's, I believe it's Kennedy and Brian Hare. So they navigate through the chicane. Raphael's looking to take a really wide line into this final corner, getting all of the momentum he can onto the front straightaway. He's going to dive low. I can see it happen, although Hendrik kind of guarded low. Raphael looks low. Oh, and the almost contact there. It looked like Hendrik kind of braked a little bit earlier. Not exactly brake checking or anything like that. But looked to surprise Raphael there a little bit, as that gap is only 0.2 at this point. Right on the bumper is Raphael. They were running, Hendrik and Raphael ran, both were in the 2-minute laps last lap, but Chris Hill and Darren back there, Darren's done fastest lap of the race. Well, that actually, his fastest lap did not count there, so it's not going to be the best lap of the race. It was a 1:59.0 for Darren, but both of those cars were a second faster than these leaders here. We'll see how long before Raphael gets a little frustrated that he can't get around. I think he knows he's faster, and he knows third place is catching up. So regarding Scott Kim, he's in 9th. He is 2.5 seconds behind Colin Kordenek. Scott Kim is our admin here, and he's catching up to Kordenek up ahead. But I don't want to cut away from our leadership battle here too much. But I'm keeping an eye on other battles. Fitzgerald and Lanik, they're really close as well. As Raphael looking for any way around into the chicane. Chris Hill is only 2 seconds back from these guys now. Darren's right behind him as well, so he's gaining lots of time to this pair as well. Raphael right on Hendrik's bumper. I feel like let's hope that there's not any contact. Hendrik dives low. Raphael momentarily takes the lead according to the ticker there. And it looks like he might have him. He's inside. He's going to go through the Mercedes arena here. Some contact door-to-door banging here between these two drivers. Wow, this is exciting stuff. And Raphael is going to get around him. Hendrik's not going to want to leave that, but we'll see if can Raphael get away from him. Excellent battle there. Wow. Really good battle here. So Chris Hill's gained, he's under second to second place now, our pole sitter for this race. We'll go on board with him, trying to figure out what I want to do with the onboard here. So now between first and fourth, the gap between these guys is 2 seconds. So, and you can see a couple lapper cars up ahead, so that's going to be interesting when these guys catch them, and it's not going to be too long. Looks like Bradford's in the pits. As Hill's going to dive inside of Hendrick there. Raphael is gapping about a second and a half, but that last lap for him was only about a 2-minute lap as Hendrick dives low on Hill. Hill's gonna give him room. We saw last lap there was contact between Hendrick and the same exact kind of move here. Hendrick slams on the brakes. Cannot get that to stick on the outside there through that corner though, and Chris Hill's going to take over that second position. Now it's going to be Darren Treacle's turn. So it looks like Bradford's back on the track here. He might have had too many incidents and had to pit. Trying to see if I can see anything about that. A lot of off tracks. When they get 10 off tracks, they will have to serve a drive-through penalty. So battle between Fitzgerald. Lennox got around Fitzgerald. These guys are taking a lot of space there. It looks like we're estimating we're 12 minutes left in this race. We're about 7 laps to go is the estimation. As Hill gets around Raphael there. So we just cut away from a second. We almost missed that battle there. That happened really quick. These first 4 cars, all championship contenders, within a second and a half of one another. Hill's going to try to take this championship here. So that last lap for Raphael, he had made a mistake during that lap. He's did a 2-minute 2-second lap, Hill's 2-minute lap, so 2 seconds faster there. As it looks like we've got Brian Hare up ahead. It's going to be tricky for these cars to navigate around. Go on board with Hill as he's going to navigate around. I believe that's Brian Hare. It appears to be. Brian Hare is going to get out of the way. Gentlemanly move by him. See Hendricks drop back just slightly from Raphael. And they're going to have to navigate around Brian Hare there as well. Brian's going to let him go, but even when a lap car lets you go, it doesn't make it as easy. It's still tough to get around him without you know, causing a mistake yourself. Meanwhile, Hill has gapped a second on Raphael there. That was kind of my expectation. We'll see if Raphael can get this back together, but knowing what Hill did during the qualifying session, it's going to be a tough ask for anybody to catch Hill once he gets back into that lead position. Saw Brian Hare diving into the pits there as well. So a lot of spread out cars in the back of the field, but let's quickly go through the field. So we have Hill is currently leading. That is Brian Kennedy up ahead of Hill. Rafael Torres in second place. Hendrik de Zwart in third. Darren Treacle in fourth. Peter Lanek in 5th. Dave Fitzgerald in that Gulf blue livery there in 6th. Joseph Gatrides, he actually led some laps early at Brands Hatch last week before finishing 5th, I think it was. He's running in 7th tonight, starting 13th, so good move up by him. Colin Kordenek running in 8th, started 11th, another good run for him. Scott Kim kind of running out here on his own at the moment, running in 9th. Nobody too close ahead, nobody too close behind. Stephen Tenney running in 10th. Sten Cellier, I just saw he's checking into the pits here, probably drive-through penalty for him. Robert Benson's in on 12th. He's going to go into 11th, though, with Sten going into the pit lane there. Bielik, not going to be too happy with this one. He started 8th, and he was involved in that first lap melee, and he had to make that pit. He's running 13th, that crafting for the Cure car. Brian Kennedy just got lapped. He's in 14th. He was involved in that first lap melee as well. Tim Bradford, and then Brian Harris right there. Trace Hance, our only car out of the race. So we've got Chris Hill here. He's gapped about 2 seconds now. Kind of our expectation is Darren Treacle looking inside of Hendrick. Looks like Darren's going to have a run on Hendrick here. Hendrick guards that inside line, but as we've seen, having that outside line set up through turn 1 can get you really good position into turn 2. But rather than doing that, it looks like they gave Darren gave Hendrick just a little bit of the chrome horn there. He gave him a little bit more of the chrome horn there. Five laps to go. But as we've seen in some of our previous races, just because you have that 2-second lead that Hill currently has doesn't mean he can't throw the car off the track for a moment and Raphael or somebody else ends up taking the lead. So Peter Lanek, our points leader, you can see this championship kind of drifting away. He's only got 4.5 laps to get back up there, but he had a really good run this season. He's going to be looking to rally off this season. I believe his team gas burn. Several of these drivers team gas burn. So he's got a really good battle with Fitzgerald here. As I can see, Treacle got around Hendrick as well. Let's see that battle between Fitzgerald and Lanek. I think these drivers here respect one another quite a bit. They know they can run really close to one another. Heading back up to 4th position, Hendrick, he's going to look to get around Darren up there. So looking at fastest laps, actually, I can show you guys that on the screen. That was the last lap, pardon me. Let's show best laps. So Torres actually has the fastest lap with a 1 minute 59.069, but Hill just 100th off with a 159.078. You can see the cars that are in the 59s, and then they go up to the 2 minutes and 2 minute 2s, 2 minute 1s, 3s, and 4s. Head back up to our gaps here. Well, I'll keep it at intervals. Oops, that was pit stops. You can see some of our drivers. I've done some pit stops. Raphael's driving his heart out here, though, because that lead for Hill had got up to 2 seconds. He's brought it back down to a 1.5 seconds. And they're starting to get a little bit of wear on their tires, where it's not going to be as easy to put on these fastest laps. And both these drivers, both first and second place here, are both BMW Performance drivers. So professionals at their craft here. You can see why they're near the front. And Treacle there in third. He's an SCCA pro driver. No, he was telling us that he missed a race because he was doing some SCCA stuff, so. As, I don't know what that was back there, but yeah, that was Treacle and Hendrick battling here still. Just under 3/10 off is Hendrick to Treacle. Another good battle. It looks like Kordanek is catching up to Gatrides in 7th, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Other than that, most of the battles are pretty spread out. The best one, the closest one, is certainly this Hendrick and Treacle battle here. The Raphael and Hill battle for first and second. Raphael was actually a half-second lap faster than Hill ahead. Get some camera on Hill, though. I don't think he took any damage or anything like that. Yeah, I don't see any damage on that car, so that would not be an issue. Fitzgerald and Lanik battling here side by side. That is through the Schumacher S's. So Schumacher, yeah, it is Schumacher S's. I was thinking Schumacher curve, but Schumacher S. Through turns 10, and then on to 11. It's the Warsteiner curve. Torres up ahead has brought that lead down to a second. As we tick just under 2 laps to go. We're 2 minutes left in this, so we're gonna have 2 laps left in this race. 0.8 of a second between first and second place. I think that Deswart here might have made a mistake because he dropped back just slightly from Fitzgerald, or sorry, from Treacle. Looking at Fitzgerald and Lanik, they're still battling quite heavily. But I want to see if Raphael here can catch up to Hill. But wow, he's really close to just on that one corner, but he might have dropped back there just slightly overcooking it in that corner there. Yeah, he was 0.4 for a second, and now he's back to 0.8. But he's driving his heart out on this one. And last lap he was another half second faster. But I have to imagine that Raphael here, he's really cooking his tires. I just am guessing that. You can see he's using all the track that he can to try to make something work here. So back to ninth. Scott Kim is just kind of running around on his own still. You can see that interval on the leaderboard there. He's plus 25 seconds over a 10th position. 7/10 between. This is going into the... Are we going to say that this is the final? Is this the final lap, or did we just end this thing? Okay, we were under that was the last lap because we ran out of time right at the line there. So Hill took the lead here, as as I saw It was Hendrick really crashed into the barrier there. We're going to have Fitzgerald come across the line here. So Hill is going to take the championship, I believe. I'll have to double check that after this. Lanik comes across. We're going to have Getrides. Kordenek drop back. You know, he was catching him. So it was a little bit anticlimactic there just because of how the clock came down on all of that. But we'll be getting our interviews with our drivers here in a moment. And we'll get our podium and our championship. So we'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm going to pull up Darren into the booth here, and we'll see what his thoughts on this race were. Hey, Darren, I got you up in the booth here. Congratulations!
Hey, Matt.
Congratulations on third place.
Thank you.
Tell us about your race there.
Well, it was fun. It was tough. I can't say that that's my favorite track, but it was a good race. I mean, I got a penalty, a slowdown penalty. I cut the went off through the, I don't know, one of the fast S's there, left, right, and had to slow down and let Chris by and maybe someone else, but then I had to fight back up through, which was fun. You know, I was going to try to follow Chris through the pack, or through the, Raphael and Hendrick, but
yeah, you guys had a really tight battle between first to fourth there at points. I mean, almost through the entire race.
Yeah, it was a good battle. Me and Hendrick started fighting a little bit, so that slowed us down to allow Chris and Raphael to pull out a little bit. But it was fun. It was a good race. Really good.
So,
yeah.
Anybody you want to thank? Any sponsors you want to thank out there?
Just the usual, Treacle Insurance Agency. We do auto, home, business, life, and we insure race cars for off-track coverage. Haggerty Motorsports. I guess that's about it.
Well, I don't know what the plans are going forward, but I think that Scott's got some ideas about doing some North American courses. So any tracks you want to pick out from there that you want to drive these cars on?
I like I like VIR, I like Road America, Road Atlanta, all the big name tracks. Even Summit Point, that's my home track in real life. So obviously I enjoy going to Summit Point.
Hey, I ran an IndyCar league, and we ran Summit Point in the IndyCars. I love that track too.
Yeah, I mean it's it's literally, it's like an hour from where I live, and I instruct there as well, and So it's a fun little track, you know, and even with the faster GT3 or GTE cars, it's a fun track.
Yeah,
you
I'd
know?
never heard of it until iRacing, and obviously it was like one of the release tracks that they did. And man, I do really like that track. And then they've got the other courses that they have as well that are fun.
Yeah,
like
no, you know, they've got one that they haven't even put on there yet, which is the Shenandoah.
Oh, okay, I actually heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got like 20-something turns. It's got a little turn. It's kind of like the bowl turn on the Nürburgring, you know, the Nordschleife there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's a busy little track. They haven't gotten that one on there yet, but that would be an interesting one if they ever did put it on.
Well, again, congratulations on third. I don't know where you finished in the championship, but I'm sure you're up there in the top, I don't know, 5 or so, probably. So.
Yeah, I jumped in a little late. Real racing was getting in the way, you know, but I'll probably, with wintertime coming, the days getting shorter, I'm sure Scott and Steve, and we'll come up with something good, and I'll try to jump in to as many of them as I can.
Okay, well, you have a good one.
Thanks, Matt. You too. Thanks. You.
All right, so we will pull up Raphael here if we can. Hey, Raphael. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Just making sure I've got my microphone all set up, make sure everybody can hear you. So tell us about your race. Congratulations on second place there. You were leading for a little bit.
So it was a crazy race because, I mean, Trace, he got a good jump on the start. Then I'm like playing it cool. Then I'm trying to, you know, find my way back up. But it was just crazy because, I mean, you get close to the cars in some of the high-speed segments, and the front end of the car just washes away. So it was really, really tricky.
Yeah, I could see, you know, you were really catching Chris there at the end. I was surprised because we knew he was really fast in qualifying, but you were running faster laps than him, trying to run him down there, so...
Hey, you put a trophy in front of a guy and he'll kill himself for it, right?
Yeah, I was thinking Raphael must be burning up those tires trying to get up there.
Yeah, for sure. In some corners, I definitely, you know, I made the conscious effort to come out of the corner with a push. You can see my steering angle. I was just like, okay, I don't want to lose, and I'm going to just know that I'm going to overheat my fronts, but this is it. This is it, or it's nothing.
That's right. Well, it was a really good battle between you guys. You know, congratulations on second place. I don't know exactly where you finished in the OctoberFAST Championship. I'm trying to pull that up, but it takes a moment to update. So we'll see where that ends up for you. Certainly in the top 5 somewhere, maybe 3rd or 4th.
I really hope so, my man. I really hope so.
Any thoughts? I know Scott's got some plans for like North American kind of courses going forward. Any thoughts on those, and any sponsors you want to thank? Anybody you want to thank out there watching tonight?
Well, I just want to thank the guys from Sim Experience. I got the AccuForce V2 steering wheel, and it's been working wonderful. The DD direct drive wheel, it's amazing. So just want to thank them. Work for keeping me sharp and making me want to build a simulator to keep myself sharp. You know, the BMW Performance Driving School. So if anybody's listening to this, you want to have a private coaching session, just hit me up on, you know, any social media, and we'll get it dialed in.
Very cool. Well, congratulations on the second place tonight, and look forward to seeing you driving in the future.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
Yep. All right, we will pull up our champion tonight. Hey, Chris, I got you up in the booth here. Congratulations on your victory there.
Sorry, I couldn't hear you there for a second. Hello?
Yeah, I got you up in the booth here. This is Matt up in the booth. Congratulations on your first place in the race here. And I'm pretty sure, I'm trying to pull it up, that you won the little championship you got here.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I think that was it was a really close going into the final here, and I think anybody in the top 5, maybe even top 6, had a chance at it. And like I was kind of trying to work the points the night before, like if Raphael had beat had finished first and I finished second, I think he would have pulled it off if Hendrick was third or something like that. So, yeah, got fortunate, got lucky there. That was a crazy race.
Yeah, this was another one of those races though where you kind of didn't have the best start, and you really made it exciting for us, because I think you dropped back to about fourth at one point in time, but I knew, like, just based on your qualifying, it's like, I think this guy is pretty fast and this is going to be exciting. So we almost watched that top four the entire race.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it would have had a bit more of a pace advantage, but I just couldn't get myself dialed in. I think I kind of got a little rattled after the first 2 laps. I got those 2 slowdowns from the chicanes, and fell back quite a bit, and then kind of made a bunch of mistakes, and finally got into a rhythm there. But by the time I did, I think everybody else was moving pretty good, and whatever little advantage I might have had, I definitely lost. I mean, I think Rafael got the fast lap of the race there by a little bit, and just luckily they were battling at the right times, and Darren was kind enough not to battle me too much there, and let me by pretty much at one point, and so it was intense, all the way down to the line. And once I finally get in the lead, I'm thinking, okay, I can just kind of relax. I got about 2-second lead. And nope.
Yeah, Rafael really, he caught up to you, man.
For sure. He put the pressure on. I was just trying to put, some, I don't know, 9/10 lap, together, 9/10 laps together, just to try to be consistent and finish clean. And he was bringing enough there that I had to step it up a little bit for the last lap or two. And, was glad when I came onto the last long straight and saw I had, 9/10 or 8/10 or whatever it was. And it was like, okay, at least he's not in my draft, so.
Yeah, and the way the timing came down on the whole, you kind of, the clock ticked down right before, like you were going to be on the final lap. Like it, you didn't have to do one extra lap. It was very tight on that, I think, on whether you were going to do 17 laps or 16 laps. So you didn't have to do that extra lap. So, but yeah, I think
maybe my mistakes worked out in my favor then.
Yeah, the pace worked out. I think because of like 1X's, I think, like I said, Rafael, or like you said, Rafael had the fastest lap. But are you saying that you had the fastest lap, or did he?
No, he had it by 100th lap. I looked.
Okay,
so,
because I think that there's a chance that you might have had the fastest lap, or somebody else might have had it, but it had an off track or something somewhere in there. But as an official, yeah. So
yeah, I had a couple off tracks, but yeah, for sure.
Well, congratulations on this, on the victory tonight, as well as the championship here, the OctoberFAST season. Anybody else you want to thank? Any sponsors out there?
No, I mean, just definitely want to thank the wife. She's been supporting me, my habit here, and allowing me to keep upgrading the rig and all that kind of stuff. And so it's been, yeah, she's definitely been there for me on that, and I appreciate that, because this is lots of fun, and anyways, definitely enjoyed it. And also, big thanks to the guys putting on the league and stuff like that. It was well run, professional. It's super cool to have you covering it and everything like that, and be able to share it with friends and family and all that stuff. So.
And yeah, I understand about the wives and their importance in sim racing. I've got some big upgrades myself coming, so I have to thank my wife as well. So.
Yeah, I've got one last one that's about to get installed this week, which is a new direct drive wheel. I've been running the old T500 for about 8 or 9 years now, and it's about ready to jump off the rig. So.
Not that you're being sponsored or told, or if you even want to say, which one are you getting there?
I've got a VRS Direct Force Pro, and I've just been waiting for the wheel for it to arrive, which should arrive either tomorrow or Saturday.
Very
Can't
cool.
wait to see what that does to the rig. I'm sure it's going to transform it a bit. So
yeah, just make sure that your rig can handle that direct drive wheel, right?
Yeah, I just did an upgrade to an 80/20 rig too, so that's been a nice change. So so now I just bolt that on, and we'll see where it goes.
Well, Yeah, well, congratulations. I'll look forward to hearing about your wheel there. Maybe in the chat you can post some screenshots or some photos of your rig there. And yeah, have a good one, man. Congratulations on the victory once again, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, well, that was our season here in the OctoberFAST, so I can quickly tell you the final order here. I don't have it up on the screen, but Chris Hill is going to be our champion. Let me see if I can actually pull this up on the screen maybe for you guys. This will be from my browser, very unofficial like. How do I do this? Trying to just get this onto the screen. I think this will work. So there we go. So we have Chris Hill, our champion, with 68 points. He had 2 wins. So I was mentioning earlier in the season that we didn't have any repeat winners. He was our only repeat winner. Hendrik, he never had a win, actually, but he had 3 average start third and average finish third. So that's good run by him, 57 points. Raphael in third. Peter's going to drop from first to fourth at 55 points, and Dave Fitzgerald, our winner of last week, is going to be in fifth. So congratulations to everybody in this league, and thanks to Scott for being the admin here in the league and having us broadcast. Let's I can bring up the actual results, final results from this race as well. Final thing we can check out here. There we go. So we had Hill, as we know, won. Torres second. Darren Treacle third. Hendrik finished out in fourth. Dave Fitzgerald fifth. Peter Lanik in sixth. Joseph Getrides in seventh. Scott Kim, our admin here, in eighth. Stephen Tenney in ninth. Colin Kordanek in 10th. Yakov Bielik in 11th. Not his best run of the season, but that crafting for the Cure car, easy to spot out there, and we appreciate him being here this week. He was not around last week, had some duties to attend to. Robert Benson in 12th, Sten Cellier in 13th, Brian Kennedy in 14th, Brian Hare in 15th, and our last car, actually, did we have 2 back there? Yeah, we had 2 cars. 16th is Tim Bradford, and 17th is Trace Hance. So thanks everybody for watching tonight. We'll have Chris Hill driving in the sunset here, so take us out. So thanks everybody for watching, and make sure to hit that like button, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and hope we get to broadcast again for you guys.